Welcome, runners, to this game. So, I kind of wanted to make a video on player etiquette. Not really a new player, old player, veteran player, whatever. It's a new game, it's in beta. The biggest thing I wanted to stress is that when you jumped in to play this game, you matchmake. So, because you matchmake, you should work together as a team. What I usually do is I try to follow. Basically, if we have a low-level guy with us, if he's not sticking with us, sometimes I'll go with the top guy. Sometimes I'll go with the low-level guy. Depends on if he's doing everything right, and as you can see in this game, we have one guy that's constantly running ahead. The downfall with running ahead or not staying in a group is that you do not get the benefits of the loot. So if you go off in your own direction, you're going to drop mods and loot at the same time he's dropping mods and loot. And you're not going to get what mods he drops, which are probably going to be different than the mods you're getting. So the benefit to staying together is that you're both benefiting from the loot that you're dropping. Granted, you're going to get good stuff if you're on your own, but you're going to miss out. You're going to leave mods behind. Granted, you're going to leave mods behind if you don't kill everything on the map anyways, but it just goes down to, there's a point of matchmaking. If you're going to matchmake, play together. As you go through the mission, you're going to come across these little hubs. You use them to buy. It's kind of like a roguelite. You buy boons to strengthen your character or your nano. Sometimes both. And then you play on through. So the more things you kill, the more you can utilize those areas. Throughout the map, there are ammo crates where you can restock. There's safe houses. The safe houses are crucial and very important because that's where your higher level weapons come from. Yes, before you get to the boss, or even in some areas, you can level up your weapon. But by doing that, you're using the same resource that you use to level up, you and your nano, which are these little pods right here. So I recommend doing the pods and getting your weapons through the safe houses. So the safe houses are going to drop many different weapons. Part of what I do when I play this game is I pay attention to my teammates. I look and see what kind of armor they have. I'm not able to see their power level, which is the only real suggestion that I've made so far. Was at the start of the game I want to see my teammates' power level so that I know, if one of us have to carry, because you can carry in this game. And the beautiful thing is, even if you're level 50, you can drop back down to Sector 1 and you can play with new players, which is kind of cool. I enjoy. The other thing you'll notice is that nano was purple. So throughout the map, when you kill nanos, they'll be blue and there's purple. I don't know how many other rarities there are, and I don't even know really if there's a benefit in them. But I always make sure that I sync the purple or get a purple and go from there. A lot of times, too, what I do is I will actually allow the lower level person to sync the first nano. So that the important thing that I think is hitting 3 storms right off the bat so that everybody gets a nano. And once you get the nano, use it. There's a lot of times in this game where technically you probably don't need to use it, but you have it. And if you're not doing the damage that your teammates are doing, then use your nano. You can see here we're kind of split apart. And I'm trying to decide which direction do I go in. Do I go with the stronger guy or do I go with the weaker guy? The stronger guy is holding on to all of his credits, which you can do that as well. Especially if you're carrying your own. If you're handling your own, then yes, you can definitely hold on to it. And then when you get to a boon, you can spend it one after the other. It takes longer, so your teammate has to wait on you a little bit more because you constantly have to keep going into the menu. to get that. So here we're going to enter a safe house. You can see that I'm with him. The other guy's coming along. He's being chased. So I send my nano over to help him. But by doing this, I don't go in and get the better weapons and stuff. They're in there for them now. So I go in. I haven't really played with LMGs, so I leave that one on the table. You can see there's so that little store section has a weapon upgrade, so you can upgrade your weapon from a white to a blue, from blue to purple, and all that. But like I said, you're using resources that should be used to level up your yourself and your nano. It's a it's a fun game. It really is. I've seen a bunch of reviews, and I've been through their Discord many times, reading how, and I don't really understand why people want to get into a beta, get into a game, and instead of giving feedback on how to make the game that the developer made better, they're giving feedback to make the game like every other game they played. And that gets a little frustrating because this game is super enjoyable. Yes, it has some repetitive grind as far as like running over sector to sector to get the loot package at the end, which is fine. I mean, every run you make, you benefit something. You either get a better mod than what you currently have. But so far, I haven't had a wasted run. Let's say that. Hopefully, I don't lose power. We have a huge windstorm and some trees across some lines down the road as I'm making this recording. I really don't want to make it again, so I'm hoping to get through it. It's going to be about a 27-minute video. Thanks for sticking with me if you've been here this far. But to get back to what I was saying is every run you make is beneficial. So it doesn't matter how many times you've run this. And this actually is so far out of it. This is my favorite map out of the 3 sectors that I've already completed because I like the open world part of it. And the second sector is actually a little bit more frustrating to play with people if they don't stick together, because there's certain places that if you go as a group you benefit. If you go by yourself, then it kind of ruins the experience. But you use your middle mouse button to tag where you're going. You can tag items to help your team. I think so. The yellow diamond on the map, that's the end. You don't have to go to that. You can continue to farm. These are those. So these chests are all over the map. Currently, because of the festive season, there are presents that are marked on the mini map to match those. When you get to those and open them up, you get candy canes. And the candy canes are in-game currency currently to buy different items for festivity items like costumes and different things like that. So this is the end of the first wave here. So you have a surge formation, you take it down. Once you take it down, it drops a few things. You loot it, pick it up, and then you move on to the next one. There's 2 waves, and then there's an end boss. I didn't show any footage of the end boss because I wanted that to be left kind of spoiler free for the new player, because I'm hoping that people find this game and go, hey, this looks pretty cool, and gives it a try, because it's definitely worth your time, in my opinion. If you love third-person looter shooters, this game kind of nails it. The nearest I can compare it to myself is it's kind of like an Outriders without the lame story. You're kind of doing the end game of the Outriders right from the beginning. But the fact that you get this big nano, that's awesome. It's so cool. It really is. It's a cool concept, cool idea. So as you're going through, you're going to find armor and you're going to find ammo pouches. The ammo pouches are different rarities, much like the armor. What that does is it allows you to carry more. At the end of each wave, you have this section here. So you have 3 rewards that you can choose from. The guy with the most damage picks first, then the second, and then third. What I try to do is if I notice the player on my team that didn't do as much damage, a lot of times I'll take something else and leave them the 10% for additional damage. So I try to help the players that I'm with. Because at the end of the day, if I'm in this level, I know I can hold my own. What I want to make sure is that the people I'm playing with can also hold their own. So that it's a smooth, quick transition, and you can go through it pretty effortlessly, and have some fun. But yeah, you'll notice that I'm the only one using my nano. I don't know why, but for some reason I'm the only one. Which is, it's okay. See, there's a purple nano there. So if earlier in the match you got a blue one, then I would sync to the purple one. I mean, a lot of times I'll sync anyways, just because you get bonuses. So there's NPCs in the base of operations. Each one of them have jobs for you. I think there's 4 total. They each have jobs. The main AI that you talk to, NPC that you talk to start your match, she has all your dailies and weeklies. So every day there's a different set every week, and they're common stuff that you're going to do playing the game anyways. So it's not a big deal. You don't have to select those. But the other 3 NPCs, you do. You have to select which jobs you want to do. Most of them are PvE. There are a couple PvP ones. And the other cool thing is you don't have to play PvP to get mods for PvP. So PvE and PvP are 2 separate things. So the character that you're building in PvE, the character itself carries over to PvP, but all the mods and the power level doesn't. So there I just picked up a purple weapon. I'm waiting for that guy to pick up a weapon. Nope, he's not going to pick it up, so I pick it up. So now I have a blue and a purple. And that's just from going to the safe house. And that's how you level up. Now, the gun that you use, if you get a gun that you've never used before, you've now unlocked it at the base of operations. So every match you start with a white weapon and no armor. There's white armor that drops, blue, all the rarities, as most other games. But you always start with nothing, basically. You start with a white weapon. The more you play that weapon, the more you level that weapon up. Leveling the weapon up gives you optics, clips, suppressors, and I think stocks is some of the other one. So essentially you're making your weapon, stronger by way of adding mods to it. The key thing is when you go to these little terminals, look at what you have kind of for a build and get things that cater to that build and help the overall build of it. There's been a couple times I've gotten some that have nothing to do with my build, and I don't know if they really do anything. The other thing I do as well is you get rewarded at the base of operations for mods that you haven't seen before. So there'll be times that if I go to one of those and I happen to see a mod that I hadn't seen, I may select that, so now it's unlocked. So here, they're actually upstairs in another store. But because I have a decent loadout, I'm not bothering with it. I'm letting them get it, hoping that it's going to help them out. But it's a super fun game. I'm hoping that it gets some traction, and a lot of people really get into it and play it. It's beneficial because it has leaderboards and stuff for PvP or PvE. I mean, so if you're just a PvP player, or PvE player, it's perfect in my opinion. It's the gunplay to me is a lot of fun. I don't worry too much about what the gun sounds like, but just the gunplay is pretty fun. I mean, and there's all the different types of guns. There's LMGs, SMGs, There's sniper rifles, which are pretty fun. You got pistols, so you got a third. Basically, you can carry 3 weapons, 2 rifles and a pistol. But the mini map is a big deal. You have all the different icons. There's another. I don't know where it is. I couldn't find it. But let's see. She opened that box, and there's a purple and a blue armor kit. I have a purple. I think we're all purple except for the blue guy. I think he's actually got an epic one on right now. And later in this match, I actually find an epic one, and I put it on. So it's okay to be a little selfish. I was in a match one time where every time we killed something, the guy synced it. And he didn't allow anyone else to sync it. It was like, we almost went to the end boss with only 1 nano, which was, it was frustrating. Currently, there's voice to talk in the game. I haven't seen it work yet. I occasionally will hear somebody say something, but it's usually when they die. I hardly ever hear anybody talk when they're actually playing. I've tried it a couple times and nobody's ever replied, so I don't really know if that's a thing. And I don't know if it's something they're working on. I'm working on trying to find some people to play with, because I think if you had 3 people on the same page, it'd be a whole lot of fun. I mean, being the fact that even though I have people that aren't on the same page, it's still fun. I've been streaming this game for the last couple weeks, and I really enjoy it. It's beta right now. The beautiful thing as well, there's an epic right there. So now I have epic armor. And so now the second wave's coming up, and we got to take out the second wave. Which is that yellow triangle and or diamond. The biggest thing too is you don't have to do that right now. So you have that bar underneath your mini-map that tells you how hard, basically how the longer you stay in it, the harder it's supposed to get. I haven't really seen that come to fruition too much. I've had times where I've gone in to the main boss or just before the main boss and it was on hard. And if you got a decent enough crew, it really doesn't take too much. You're allowed to be overpowered in this game, which I think is really kind of cool. You get rewarded. You get rewarded for the grind. You can go back. So I'm currently at third 3. I'm at sector 3 right now. I can actually come back to sector 1, which is what this is here. And I can play with new players. Yes, I'm a little bit more. I can do a little bit more damage than them, but I can still go back and play with them, and they still get their achievement. They still get, get everything basically that I get. And you can actually play up a sector, but part of player etiquette is don't. If you're not at the recommended power level. Like Sector 3, I think, is 3,000. If you're not at 3,000, do the 2 people that you're going in with a favor. Unless they're friends of yours, don't. Last night I played a game with a guy. He was at level 50. I think I'm at 46. And somebody hopped in. It was a level 5. I don't know how they got to Sector 3 at level 5. But they were one shot by everything. Even the little minions that don't do any damage, they one shot. They were one shotting him. So he went off on his own. He died, and we were too far away, and we revived him. I think the 2 of us revived him like 3 or 4 times. It's like you're clearly not at the level you should be. So we moved on. We finished the thing and went to the boss fight, and because he was dead, he didn't go to the boss fight with us. So, if you die while fighting the boss, as long as somebody kills the boss, you get revived, and you can get the mods that drop. The beautiful thing too about this is when you get mods in the game, and you'll see there'll be one dropping here. It's a little square with a question mark in it, because you don't know what it is until the end of the game when you go back to the base of operations. Each mod has a number value. So once you find mods that you like, you can essentially play the 4 mods that you get. You can equip those 4 mods at level 5 with like a 600 level power. You can level those all the way with you if that's the mod you like. What I try to do is I load mods that I think are going to be beneficial for me and also my team. I experiment a little bit. Like if I get a higher mod, if I get a higher number mod than what I'm currently running, I'll put that on. I'll run a match. If I don't like it, then when I go back, I'll put my old mod back on, but I'll upgrade it to that new value. So each mod has a different thing. Like some of them are, critical hit drops a bomb. So you'll see that there's these blue little orbs that are bouncing from players. You can get those by, sometimes you can reload and it'll drop one of those, which you reload a lot in this game. And you can also get them when you hit something, when you hit a crit hit. And where you get your crit hits are the bright orange on the bad guys. Those are the weak points, technically. But so we just finished this. Now we're waiting to go to the boss. I cut that part out because I wanted people to actually enjoy it and experience it themselves. So here, the top guy on damage gets first pick, then second pick, then third pick. I think if you don't pick, it picks for you. And I think you always get the top one, I believe. This is the results of after the boss. There's some bosses are just one wave, you just kill the boss, and then some are other different waves. So I've only played 2 characters. Was it Deadshot, that one there? I played him, and the one I'm currently playing. They're both fun. They're both primary DPS from what I can tell, and they're both enjoyable to play. These are some of the rewards you get. So the next reward you're going to get is that. This shows all the mods that you just got. So you unlocked all these mods. There are a ton of duplicate mods, but that doesn't matter because you can break them down. And I need to do that. I need to go through and clean up my mods. So you can see there's a number value of 456. If you have a 430 mod that you enjoy using, you can take any mod with a higher value and roll that value onto that mod, which is basically how your power level is. So the higher your power level, the more damage you do, and the easier the next sector is going to be. And that's basically what you're doing, is you're working through the sectors. So what I find is the replayability of each sector helps you learn more about the game and makes your character better. So you're not really wasting any time in this game, to me. It's like I play games that have a lot of repetitivity, like World of Tanks. You grind for the next thing. Here's where the jobs. So you can see that when you accept a job, you actually get premium credits, which is the purple. So by playing the game, you get rewarded with actual premium credits that you can use to buy skins. This lady, so every time you find a new nano or a new mod, you come here and you can see the mod in action. It'll actually show you what it does, and who it benefits. There's certain places here where I think your nano will tell you like what this benefits. She has 2 jobs that you can do. I only got 2 left to get with her. I just have to switch my nano in order to achieve those. This is the premium vendor. This is where you get all your skins. She also has 2 jobs. Some of these are PvP jobs. And you unlock certain things with her. The daily pass is here. Every time you log in, you get a reward. And like I said, there's skins here, and the battle pass is in here. Almost every 3 levels of a battle pass gives you the actual in-game currency to allow you to be able to buy mods. Or not mods, sorry. Skins. So here's all the new mods that I got. And I'm going to go in now. Of course, this was pre-recorded from a Saturday that I was playing, and I just want to put some context to it. So I have two mods there. They're both, one's a 455, one's a 456. The mod that I'm using is a 455. So I can power that up by hitting the Q button. You can see I have all these different mods. That one there does weapon damage for 5 seconds, eliminating a stun, spread stun, crit hit. So every time you get a crit hit, you drop an explosive. There's many different mods, and here I'm taking one mod from a 55 and moving it 455 and moving it to a 481. So, which brings me up 28 points on my hit power. So you do that for all 4 sections. Each mod is for a different slot. So you have to have a mod for slot 1 in order to upgrade your slot 1 mod. And that's all I do. After every run I go through, I usually get rid of the perfect dodge ones because I'm not very good at dodging, so I don't worry about that. This is the PvP section. So as you play, you get mods for PvP. They don't roll over, and I don't believe they're as powerful. So it's a pretty level playing field as far as the mods go for that. When you get your mod, you can make them better by doing you need a gold currency in order to make the mod to give it another value. So these are all the different ones that you can use. The different nanos. Crusher and Suppressor are the ones I've used so far. They're a lot of fun to play. I haven't tried Guardian. I haven't tried Seer, which I'll probably do that later today because I have to mod with them a couple times in order to get a reward. So I'll probably do that. But anyways, that about sums up my video. If you've stuck around this long, I thank you so much. Give me some comments. Give it a like. Give it a follow. I'm gonna play this game. I want to add some more stuff. So take care and have a great time, and hope to see you in this game.